Hello and welcome back to the Yellow Squared podcast. My name is Ned. I'm joined as usual with my brother James, and we're back after the season preview. James, I didn't predict a win away at Millwall, given that we can't ever seem to get a win away at Millwall, but we managed to do it. And what a game it was. But first of all, welcome back to the podcast, the first official podcast of the season. How are you doing?
Hey mate, hey everybody. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Agreed. After the season preview, it was a bit flat, wasn't it? And I listened to quite a few of the season previews from the Watford community, and I think everyone had a similar feeling. Really, it was a bit unsure, a bit nervous about how the season was going to play out, how the side was going to play. There was a few glimpses of that Brentford pre-season game as to a bit of a system and the starting lineup, but well, I think we got pleasantly surprised yesterday, didn't we? Big win, 3-2 in the sunshine. We're not going to get carried away with ourselves, though, are we?
I can't make any promises.
But it was good. How are you, mate? You well?
Oh, I'm very good. Much better after yesterday. I think a little bit of faith has been restored in Watford. We did manage that. We made it hard for ourselves, I will say.
Yeah.
Towards the end, big meal popping up, 90th minute winner. But I don't think there's a better place to start than by introducing a brand new segment to the podcast. We love a new segment. So, James, I'll let you take it away with the tale of the game.
Yeah, ladies and gents, this is the tale of the game. So this is our efforts to try and sum up the match in as best a way we can. That leads into some talking points. So, all right. Without further ado, the tale of the game for Millwall away on the opening day. Tom Cleverley's Hornets entered the Lions' Den on opening day for our first away opener since Southampton in 2016. An emotional day at the Den saw tributes to Matija Sarkic, who died after playing for his national side Montenegro in the summer, which included a wonderful banner unfurled by the 1881 that was very well received by the Millwall fans. Well done to all involved. Nonetheless, tributes aside, the Lions and the Hornets kicked off. A cat and mouse game unfolded, the Hornets riding out the early assault on Dan Bachmann's goal with some resolute defending before the Orns' new 3-4-2-1 system began to click. French stallion Moussa Sissoko and Tom Delibashiru breaking up the play well before unleashing our Georgian talisman to attack. However, it was a set piece that got the Yellows in front with an Edo Kayembe Olympico.
He goes for goal. He gets the goal.
Who saw that coming? Going straight over the Millwall debutant Jensen's head to put us 1-0 up. The Hornets looked in control, but Mill came back to life, forcing some late drama in the first half. Did Andrews foul Watmore? We'll never know, but we do know Honeyman hit the post before Sierralta, or should I say Sirialta, cleared off the line to preserve our lead. The Hornets up a goal as the whistle blew. Everybody breathed. The second half kicked off with Millwall attacking. A free header from a free kick rattled the post to remind Cleverley that there would be no sleeping Lions in the final 45 minutes. How would Watford respond? By unleashing the Professor 2.0. Georgie rifles one in from 30 yards.
Tashi goes for it and gets it!
This is sensational from Chakpatadze.
TT's Orns are 2-0 up and cruising. Time to shut up shop, yeah? Well, Millwall had other ideas. Watmore poking home after Sierralta couldn't get across the way, and we couldn't quite react after losing Matty Pollock to treatment. Never mind, 2-1, don't panic, it's still in our hands. Cleverley immediately makes some changes with Mileta Rajovic and Ken coming on for Bayo and Gakia. 10 minutes pass without too much happening, but then Sissoko and Porteous get in a muddle and unleash Millwall's Saville to play in Watmore, who levels 2-2. That familiar feeling from last season starts to settle in. You can feel Watford Twitter starting to whir up. But then, unfamiliar to last season, Cleverley's Orns stayed on the attack with Sema playing the ball inside to Tom Delibashiru, who shifted onto his right, drilled the low shot that took a big deflection. Where's the ball going? Thought I'd run out of terrible animal puns? Wrong. The Hornets' Great Dane rose like a salmon to nod the ball past Jensen to put the Hornets 3-2 up in the 90th.
Goalkeeper hesitates. They all look at the linesman. But he is not going to save Millwall here because Mileta Rajovic.
Proving he's the real apex predator in the box. Full time, Watford 3, Millwall 2, Red Shorts 3 points, 5th in the league. It's coming home. State of the game, ladies and gentlemen. How was that, mate? We well?
Unbelievable. That was better than I would ever have anticipated. That was, wow. I love the sheer volume of animal jokes. Really made it. Interesting use of the Keith Stroud alarm there at the end. Don't know why you use that.
Well, it's coming home.
It's versatile, I guess the alarm is.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting to start the podcast by saying let's not get ahead of ourselves. And what are we, 5 minutes in? We're already saying it's coming home. Yeah. Unbelievable. Now I feel like I'm back in the moment now. Now I've listened to that. All right then, James. Tale of the game. The first one out of the way. Unbelievable segment. I think that's going to be a constant fan favourite throughout the season. Unbelievable. We're going to have to see how many animal puns we can get in through the season. Try and get every animal involved at some point.
There's going to be all sorts. Animals, movie titles.
Oh, that's
all sorts, mate. We're just going to go crazy, aren't we?
Yeah, it's got to be a big segment. It's the opening segment. But yeah, as I said, I feel like I'm right back in the thick of it yesterday after listening to that. So let's get in some talking points then. Just general feels about the game. I'll let you kick off. What did you think about the new system?
Well, I mean, I've only just stopped scrolling through, the clips of Chakvatadze's free kick and the away end limbs, all that kind of stuff. So you can sort of see where we're kind of at. It feels so good, doesn't it, just to be talking about a win and a little bit of positivity and Tom Cleverley's at the wheel, all that kind of stuff. This will be clipped and sort of come back to haunt us after we've lost to McDonald's and then lost to Stoke. But whatever. Let us have our moment, mate. I first of all, I thought the team was pretty much expected. Didn't you? I mean,
yeah.
I didn't think there was anything in there that really surprised me.
No.
And because there was some stuff midweek, wasn't there, about expecting a physical battle. So maybe Kayembe in for loser as that 10 role might have been the only one that we weren't too sure about. But I thought it worked really nicely. I love the system. I said it in pre-season. I think it works really nicely when it clicks. I think that box midfield is really effective against like a 3-person midfield. Particularly what Millwall were trying to do. I think we just overran him in the end. And if Sissoko and as we saw, Sissoko and Delabashiru can just roll their marker, all of a sudden we've got overloads all over the place, which I thought we started to see. But mate, the system I thought worked really, really, really well going forward. We'll talk a bit defensively a bit later, but yeah, who's your standout in midfield for you?
I think that I watched it on Sky yesterday, but the commentators really picked up on how well the midfield picked up on the second ball. In particular, they said how frustrated Neil Harris would have been with that, given that that's kind of Millwall's thing to be, dogged and aggressive in midfield. And I said, the quality that we've got now at the base of that midfield, Sissoko is such a safe pair of hands. He just broke up absolutely everything. And the quicker we moved the ball in between, Delibashiru and Chakvatadze, the faster we got out on the break. We can talk a little bit more in detail about the striker situation. But as far as I'm concerned, defensively and in that midfield, we looked really, really strong. On the offensive, moving the ball in between the players through the lines, and that's the kind of really interesting style of football that we started to see in pre-season, which I really liked. Those sort of punching passes, and everything's done quickly. Everything's passed on the deck. It's really nice to see, and I loved the way we controlled the tempo in the second half. Obviously went 2-0 up. Started to get a bit of pressure. Obviously conceded in like the 70-something minute, 72nd minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Then rode it out. I mean, it was unlucky that there was just another lapse in concentration right at the end of the game. Otherwise, we would have won it 3-1 or 2-1, 3-1.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I think you're right about that.
We controlled the tempo of the game really well. Invited Millwall to come and press us, basically. Kept passing the ball around, really nice triangles all over the pitch. I just love the tempo that we had. We have the ability to slow it down, but then we have the ability to speed up as well. And that's exactly the formula you need to be successful in the Championship. It's just being unpredictable. Definitely. Because it's so easy to defend against teams that move the ball slowly. But yeah, that's kind of my really positive takes from the game. Honestly, 2 freak goals. Let's be real here. Kembe's goal from a corner. If you had that on your bingo card, go and buy a lottery ticket, because I don't think in a million years I'd have predicted the first goal of a Championship season for Watford would ever come from a corner, let alone from Kembe taking the corner.
Yeah. Well, it was weird. Yeah, you're right. I mean, nobody saw that one coming. It was the right scoreline to go in at half time, considering how he played. Just the way that it went in, it wasn't expected. Feel bad for Millwall fans. I worry for them if Jensen is going to be their keeper for the season. We've had our digs at Dan Bachmann, who I thought did really well yesterday. By the way, I don't think he put a foot wrong. And
I mean, not
having him as a talking point is a plus, yeah. But yeah, poor old Jensen, I think he got stuck and a bit flappy, wasn't he? And
just a little bit,
exposed really a little bit. Unfortunate for him, but yeah, we'll take it. But yeah, get Kayembe on the corners all season, it seems. Because ironically, I actually thought that Kayembe hadn't quite got into the game up until that point.
Not really, no. It was a difficult start. I feel like he's playing a little bit further forward. It's not that position that we've seen him really play that much before. He was very much box-to-box, central midfield last season, breaking up the play. But we know he's got a strike on him, and he can be creative. So sticking him forward in that position, probably against Millwall, really works, because it's more of an aggressive and harder game to get into. I think someone like Loser would easily go missing, despite having heaps of technical quality compared to Kayembe, especially going forward. But I think that there is still a position for Loser in that side. I just think you have to pick and choose the right games, and I think Cleverley knows that, and ultimately decided that Kayembe was the better option.
Paid off in the end, didn't it? Really,
it did, yeah. So, any other topics to go through very quickly before we return to a fan favourite segment?
Nah, let's get our season underway, mate. Come on.
Okay,
let's get the real segment underway.
So, as the reigning champion, we've decided that you will play the role of quizmaster this week. I'm going to step up to the plate first. All the pre-season nerves, I'm feeling them right now. I need to defend my title, so I think instantly, I feel like we're kind of like Liverpool and Man City. If you don't get a good start, you're never going to catch up by the end of the season. So I'm already feeling a little bit of pressure, but let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Mate. For this season's Guess the Player, I've had a complete system reset, changed the culture in the side.
Oof.
And I'll be backing myself come hell or high water. Yeah, we're ready. Are you ready for Clue 1, mate?
I am ready for Clue 1. I think we just have to mention, for any new listeners who might not know what Guess the Player is, it's our in-house, almost quiz show, where one of us each week will pick a ex-Watford player at random. Then we give each other 3 clues each week to try and guess the player. The clue is in the name. Yeah. It's very well thought out.
Yeah.
You can play
We
along
saw
at home.
everything.
And if you've got any other suggestions for players, there isn't really a lack of Watford players to pick from.
Not in the Butler era.
But if you've got some interesting players, some niche players, those are the best ones. We've had the likes of Don Cowie featured on Guest the Player last season. Please get involved. But yeah, I think that kind of covers all the ground rules. And enough waffling. I'm ready for clue number 1, please.
Clue number 1. Okay, mate. Right. In the interest of the opening day of the season, are you ready? Let's go.
Yes.
So, clue 1. I was a goal scorer in a Watford opening day win where we won 3-2 with a 90th minute winner in red shorts.
Okay. Well, I know you're obviously trying to throw me off with yesterday's performance. Red shorts, 90th minute. I'm trying to think. Okay, so we've won 5 opening days in a row. None of those have been in red shorts. So I think that's we're going back even further. Potentially early 2010s, potentially even further back. And for that, I'm going to have a guess at Marlon King.
Not Marlon, mate.
Okay.
That's a great name for a potential guest player going down the line. I'll make a note of that one. It's not Marlon, mate. No. I thought you might get it, having there were some references to it yesterday in commentary. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Well then, I guess we'll get back into the talking points from yesterday. We'll go through some more in-depth ones now. We'll start off, James, with that box midfield. We kind of mentioned it a little bit briefly. Sissoko, TDB, Chakvetadze, or Jack Vedatse, and Kayembe.
Yeah, I think it's without getting ahead of ourselves too much. We saw how effective a box midfield can be all over the summer in the Euros, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it seems like Watford are trying to implement it. And it looks like to me we've got the players that can deliver it. You've got Sissoko who can break up the play. He's still got the legs and the technical ability at the moment. We'll fast forward to November, see how he's doing then. But on the face of it, looked good there, breaking it up and being sort of that leader in the midfield. And then you've got Delabashiru who could take the ball off a central defender, roll it and spray the ball around to just then let those attacking midfielders run at defenders. So
Yeah.
when it works so well yesterday, and I felt that we attacked really quickly and really directly. So for me, we've got to really focus on that, and it leads into some of the other talking points, which I might mention now. We need to have some balance on the left and a striker who can finish, or a striker that can last 90 minutes. That I think if you get those 2 points right, that midfield is suddenly very, very threatening going forward.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's interesting how how good the midfield was yesterday when you've lost Aspria and Kone, arguably 2 of our best assets in the entire squad. Shows the depth that we actually had, that we didn't think about beforehand, before the season started. I would mention Dini made some comments about Deli Bashiru sort of being the diamond in the rough at Watford. I didn't think he played particularly well yesterday. I'll be honest. He didn't get into the game very quickly. Really solved Serralta for his yellow card with a terrible back pass. Just didn't quite look on it. I think we can put that down to just being the opening day of the season. Kayembe had a couple of moments as well, just a bit of lapse in concentration, miscontrolling the ball, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In basic scenarios, obviously, it's normal to miscontrol the ball. They're not robots. I didn't think Tom played particularly well, but we know what quality he has, and when it suddenly starts to click as it did going forward, they look very dangerous. So I wouldn't instantly take him out of the team or anything.
Oh no.
I think he's got an incentive now to really live up to what Deeney's comments and live up to the image we have of him now at Watford. He's no longer a youth prospect coming through. He has to now be starting every week, performing every week, and in this Watford team, trying to get a move further up the Championship or into the Premier League after us, because that's all we've really got at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, or trying to drag us up with him,
Okay, we won't throw it all away just yet. I have to stop being negative. We'll stop being.
Yeah.
We won yesterday. Come on,
We did.
let's fill ourselves with some delusion for once. I think the points balance on the left side, definitely. And Ngakia, I thought he did okay. He couldn't get around Leonard at all. That was the one thing he struggled with. Having said that, I don't think every right back in the league is as experienced or as good as Leonard. As annoying as it is to say that. But yeah, a bit of balance on the left. I can't wait for Larousse to come in. Very happy to see him on the bench. The bench did excite me yesterday. The two players that came on probably weren't going to be the choices I would necessarily have. But the bench was exciting. I think that shows the depth we have this season. Last season, the bench looked quite thin. You'd look at the bench and there'd be two 17-year-olds you'd never heard of and James Morris. This season, there's a bit more quality to come off. And then we're linking into the striker situation. Bayo didn't really offer anything yesterday, did he? He didn't get much service at all.
No, because there was no crosses coming in.
There was no crosses going into the box. That kind of links to the left-hand side problem. We know Ryan Andrews doesn't cross. I'm hoping Larousse can cross. He didn't come on, though. That was the frustrating thing for me. Sema is much more direct. He does cross the ball. But obviously, he came off as Sema came on. So, in those kind of games, Bayo struggles unless he has any kind of service. He can't play up top on his own, which is a real problem in this system. Because at times, the two sort of 10 positions are going to be digging in a little bit to help that midfield. Because we're not very wide. That's the problem with a box midfield. It's quite narrow, so there isn't much width in the flanks. If their left back and right back go forward, they pretty much have free run at our left and right back. And so Bayo's going to end up playing on his own quite a lot this season.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to stand up for Bayo. Because I think this all comes down to the width. Because what you saw yesterday is Chakvetadze particularly driving forward into space.
Yeah.
And he was unwilling to go out to his left-hand side because he knew that Ngakia wouldn't be able to maintain the momentum.
Yeah.
Because he has to check back in and then everything slows down. I think if you have that natural width of someone attacking on the left, or the right as well, then that means that Chakvetadze can offload the ball quicker and then get up to support Bayo. Because what's happening at the moment is that Chakvetadze is having to drive infield, which is closing the space for the striker. Everyone is then bunching up.
Yeah, the runs are all straight because there's no width. So
whereas
it's very difficult to make a decision when you're literally, if you're in Georgie's shoes, for example.
Yeah.
If you have two people running straight in front of you, it's very difficult to pick out the right pass.
Exactly.
Whereas if there's width either side that can deliver, and keep the momentum, which I'm hoping Larousse can do.
Yeah.
That's the exact, that's what
Well, that's
Bayer
it.
needs. Crosses into
Because
the box.
Well, Bio, Rajovic, but because that means that Chakvetadze can get himself into the box, which soaks up a defender. Because at the moment, we were trying to cross the ball in yesterday, and Bio had 2 or 3
Yeah,
Millwall players around him.
it's impossible.
So we know what Bio is good for. He's good for the shape, he's good for the work rate, and he does a lot for the team. And he's clearly a popular figure in the squad.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I'll continue to back him whilst he's still trying to work hard. But I think you saw the difference when Sema came onto the left-hand side.
Yeah, definitely.
Albeit he wasn't directly involved in the goal for Rajovic. The crosses were coming in and the chances started to fall to a striker. So, hopefully, like you say, Larousse, I'm assuming he's going to play on Tuesday or get some minutes on Tuesday. As
I hope so.
Cleverly said. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the striker situation. I mean, Rajovic. Ball in the box, he'll finish, mate. I know you said you weren't a fan of the substitutions, but they worked at the end of the day.
They did work, yeah.
So yeah, by hook or by crook, he the ball's in the box in the danger zone,
And he's reacted to it.
He does seem to score. So delighted for him because he didn't
Very
really have
good,
much
yeah.
of a pre-season.
Yeah.
There's a few people on Twitter I thought that were saying that he was moving around a bit freer and he looked a bit stronger, which I actually
I noticed his hold-up play has come on leaps and bounds from when he first came to Watford. It's by no means the finished package, but like you said, if the ball gets into the box, he can finish. I think that's I don't think Bio scores that header.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And then we're still in that sort of sinking feeling from last season where we go 2 up, we play so well, and then we throw it away. But I'm delighted for him. You've said I didn't like the substitutions, and that is true. But Cleverly's proved me wrong there. He has ended up giving us the 3 points, which is good. I didn't dislike the substitutions. I just thought at the time they were a little bit naive. We were soaking up a lot of pressure, and I felt like we needed more of a faster outlet, and that's why I would have brought on Vata up front instead of Rajovic, because I just thought the pace on the counter attack would have been so important later on in the game.
Yeah,
and Vata offers that, and he can also shoot from anywhere. So
yeah. And you saw that. To be fair, even at 2-2, sorry, even when it was 3-2, there were still times where we were countering, and we were driving through the middle, and Rajovic and Sissoko were the ones trying to drive their way forward, but they just didn't have that turn of pace to get just beyond the defender that you can just play the ball through. So I'm with you on that one, and I must admit, when I saw Rajovic and Sema coming on, I was a bit like, "Oh, okay. Well, it's just gone 2-1. Interesting." That opening day is an unknown.
It proved us wrong, hasn't it?
It proved us wrong, mate. Can I just bring one other point?
Yeah, of course.
About the team. The only thing that concerned me yesterday was just defensively. I thought set pieces we looked worryingly exposed.
Yeah.
A lot of free headers conceded, and I thought whilst Pollock had a superb game, it dealt with pretty much everything. Still felt that we gave up a few chances with crosses coming into the box. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I mean they should have scored 2 headers yesterday. Hit the post of one, headed it miles over from literally 4 yards out. I don't know how he missed that, to be honest. But that's the Championship, isn't it? You've got to ride your luck at times, and it does seem like we've been swimming against the tide in regards to luck for a long time. So it's nice to get a bit of luck for our own, but we won't get away with it for the whole season. I would say we struggled from set pieces, though, yeah. Far too many free headers. I just think Serralta and Porteous looked a little bit shaky yesterday. Pollock had a great game. I hope he woke up with an intact skull this morning because we need him for the rest of the season. But yeah, I think some tightening up needs to be done defensively, just from set pieces. I think in the shape we looked good. We dealt with everything that came into the box from open play. apart from the goal, the first goal anyway.
Yeah, it's a couple of deflections, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, just a couple of rubbish deflections, a bit of a poor clearance from Serralta, and it's a good finish to be fair. The second goal is just frustrating, giving the ball away twice in a row in midfield, and then because we were kind of midway through transition going forward when we gave it away, there was just so much space on the left, and that's the problem with bringing on Sema, left wing back, because defensively he's not really solid at all. He's there to go forward. He's a left winger by trade, so having a left wing back, that's the trade-off though, isn't it? Attacking, it's much more direct, but defensively we got punished by the holes.
There's not much you can do when Sissoko just passes it to.
Yeah,
there's not much you can do with that, but yeah, that's the one thing I think that needs to be looked at for me anyway.
Okay, should we get into some other club news? Finally signed that defender. It was great midweek. Elton John asks for a signing. Watford deliver less than an hour later. That's the Elton John pull, which is cracking. I wonder if Elton can ask Watford to sign a striker. But yeah, Keiki, what's it? I can't remember his surname.
Almeida.
He is available from Stoke, I think. Stoke.
Yeah.
The Stoke match day onwards, which suggests that he will be getting involved with the first team this season. Dumbia, he is also in plans. The club gave him the wild card. I can't remember the name of the
the governing body regulation.
That's the one. Yeah, they gave him our one slot, so that means he could get a work permit and play in the Championship this season. I don't know if Keiki needs one of those. But seemingly not, given that he will be involved this season. Nice to see. Probably he will be sticking about. He has his own squad number this season as well, which kind of confirms that. Because there was a lot of talk before he signed that he'd be like kind of immediately going off on loan either to Udinese or I think there was rumours of Belgium as well.
Belgium, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I just think they realised that Tikvic really isn't the option.
Well, Cleverley was pretty clear on that after the game, and I know you spoke about the bench and and sort of what was available to us. Having no centre back on your bench when you play three at the back is a bold strategy, but I think that's the nail in the Tikvic coffin for me. And if Cleverley doesn't want to put him in the squad because he's not ready, I'll be amazed if we might see him against MK Dons in midweek.
Possibly, just to give a couple of players a rest.
But I suspect that's Tikvic not playing very much for us this season.
No.
Rightly so, because he looked out of his depth in pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah, and that was against Gillingham, so I don't think he'd be able to handle the likes of Latte Lath and those other quality strikers in the Championship. But yeah, a couple more signings. I think Tom Cleverley confirmed that we're close to signing another centre back and a striker. And if there was any doubt that Tikvic's career was going to take off with Watford, another centre back signing kind of puts that to bed very quickly, because he could easily be fifth or sixth choice, and playing three at the back, that's quite impressive. But Gino, you've done it again. Great loan from Udinese. So the striker is the main talking point. We've been calling out for a striker for a while now. Somebody that can hit the target, hold up the ball, and is quite fast. I don't know if those kind of strikers exist. Given I haven't seen we've really been linked with anyone.
Not
potentially a loan or something from the Premier League, because it's interesting, isn't it? How a couple of months ago there was lots of talk about utilising loans from top half Premier League sides, and that really hasn't come to fruition yet. So maybe
No.
Cleverly's got something up his sleeve that he can bring in as a
There's
striker this season.
Yeah, mate, bang on. I think there's a couple of factors. One, I think the Premier League clubs are trying to just work out where they're at with their squad rules. And I do just think the market is slow because of the big tournaments in the summer, and
Yeah.
we're only just sort of getting players back. So I think that the sort of striker that we'd want to sign on loan from the Premier League, I think that's going to be deadline day type stuff. I have that sort of feeling. But if I just want to know what budget we're going to get from Aspria going. If he goes now, that feels like that's up in the air. Like, I think the club want him gone. Cleverly wants him gone. Aspria himself wants to go. It sounds just like the agent is being a bit difficult. But
Yeah, it's
however much he goes for, and then however much budget we get off the back of that to spend, I think that will be a factor in what we do, particularly from a striker
yeah.
perspective.
I think from the financial aspect of it, if we're spending big money, it can't be a wonder kid that will be useful in 3 or 4 years' time. It has to be someone that comes in and starts. If we're buying someone outright, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it's another loan though. Given that how many loans have we used this season? 2, is it? So
Yeah,
far?
yeah, we've got plenty of loans in the bank, I think.
Plenty of loans, which that streamer Zealand would love. If he was rebuilding Watford, he'd be singing about loans. So yeah, most likely will be a loan signing. But as I said, if we are going to buy someone outright, it needs to be someone that can come in right now. Couple of other points about the squad numbers that kind of reveal a little bit about the plans for the season. Didn't see Hurtado get a number, or Kalu. Kalu probably will leave. I don't think anyone knows where he is at the moment.
Like,
Hurtado, I think he's been linked with loans somewhere.
yeah, out to Greece, I think PAOK.
Yeah. So interesting. He looked like he needed some game time. I don't think he'd really get any in the system that we play now. I don't think he's capable of playing up front on his own, especially when we've got some other players coming through, the likes of Bar and there's other youth strikers that look promising in pre-season. So I don't think he'd really feature much this season. It's a sensible move to send him out on loan somewhere. But yeah, I think that's it for talking points. Anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I mean, I just think just generally it's nice to have some of the conversations about squad building after being pleasantly surprised, really, about the result at the weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice
So it's nice.
not to sit here and be like, well, we need action now,
Been
otherwise we'll be
rolled
in for
over
a long
4-0
season.
by
Yeah.
Millwall. Yeah, but it's good, mate. No, I think I've got all my points ticked off.
Perfect. I think we should get back into to guess the player then.
Yes.
Let's
yes,
hear
yes.
clue number 2.
Clue number 2. So we know this person was a goal scorer on an opening day back in the day. I won't give you the date because that'll give it away. But clue 2, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
For 2 points. A man mountain of a centre-back. I made 90 appearances for the club, scoring 10 goals. The second highest in terms of appearances for a single club in my career. That spanned a total of 312 appearances in total.
I feel like Man Mountain is pushing me in the direction of one man, but I don't know how early he featured in a Watford shirt. I'm going to take a guess and say Danny Shitu.
Oh!
Oh dear.
I thought you had it. Shall we dive straight into clue 3 then for
I
the 1
think
point?
so, yeah, 1 point. It's a
So
poor
for 1
return
point,
so far.
I once was viewed as a replacement for Henning Berg at my first club, Blackburn Rovers, but I was most infamously known for my tackle on the Croatian Eduardo for Birmingham against Arsenal in 2008.
Oh my goodness. He played for Arsenal but then played for Watford.
No. He was playing for Birmingham against Arsenal.
Oh, right, okay.
Infamous Eduardo tackle.
Oh, goodness. So I can
This is
picture the
brilliant.
tackle, and it's not a
What happens
pleasant
next?
it's not a pleasant image to be picturing right now. Who made
Who
that
made the
tackle?
tackle? Big centre back. 10 goals for Watford, one of which was a goal on the opening day. 3-2 win against Crystal Palace.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna have to push you.
I've got no clue. I can't pass on 1 point. I've got to guess someone.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a name, mate. You're gonna kick yourself.
Probably. I don't know who. I haven't got a clue. 3-2. It's 2013, isn't it?
2012, technically.
Well, yeah, 2012-13, same season. Goodness, I couldn't even tell you who started in those games for Watford. Bearing in mind, for some context, listeners, I would have been 7 years old.
Yep. I remember my first Watford game. It's fine.
So yeah, but that's okay. Well,
Look
we'll
at
guess.
a nil pointer.
Somebody like Nyron Nosworthy.
That's a wonderful clutch name you've pulled there. But it's not Naira Nosworthy. All together now, ladies and gentlemen. It's Martin Taylor.
Martin Taylor. Wow. Big. Oh, to be fair, big man, big mountain man.
6'4" centre back, mate.
Yeah.
Broke.
Fair.
Sensational. I'm delighted with that. I mean, I could really kick off this season now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bad start.
Come on.
I've
Let's
bottled
lighten
my title defense is already. I feel like I've lost the Community Shield just then. Title
You're in the
defense is
mud
gone.
there.
Right. Well, I think you could have given me a bit of an extra clue there for his dummy against QPR when Don Cowie scored. Yeah, Martin Taylor, crikey, that's a throwback. I didn't even realise he was still at the club in 2012. I thought he left when Daichi left.
Yeah, he left on the deadline day, I think.
Wow, impressive. Okay then, I see the way we're pushing guest the player this year.
I went with an opening day theme.
I think my opening clue next week is that they've played for Watford at some point. So we'll see. We'll see. Dark arts definitely outwork there. But yeah, very much handed you potentially a 3-point lead instantly, which as we saw from last season is quite difficult to catch up. So
Certainly is.
I think that's enough pain from Guess the Player on my perspective this week. And it's time, James, for another new segment. And it's new segments left, right and centre this week.
Yep.
But it's great. It's all great content, isn't it? It's time to look at the Fantasy League. Okay then. So just a couple highlights from our perspective. The YSP team clocked in at 50 points, captained Chakvetadze, Borough's Laterlath, and back in Wrexham did well. Our Millwall pick, Cooper, got 1 point, which is fabulous for us because that means we did well on the pitch, leaving us 8th in the table. And shout out to I Ken Sema Future, top of the league after game week 1 on 62 points. Well done to you, sir. Hopefully you're listening along to the pod this week. But well done. As for our individual teams, how did you get on, James?
Well, the Miguel Britos Tackle Academy didn't start particularly well. I got 45 points. 45 points. I captained Chakvetadze with Laterlath in my team. But I had Paul Mullin and some dude called Donovan Pines from Barnsley, who didn't play, and I suspect, like quite a lot of people, I backed Leeds, who did what I thought they would do. But it's just one game week, and if you're like me, you're still trying to work out what on earth is going on with the rules in this league. So next week is a complete lottery, but we'll see. Yeah, mate, how'd you get on?
Not too bad. I'm currently 5th in the table, above the YSP team. I made a fatal error though. I've included Aspria as my Watford player.
That was foolish.
It was foolish. I don't know. I think at the time of making it, I was like, yeah, of course Aspria will start. At least he'll play one game this season. Very bad decision. And like you, I backed Leeds. I had Junior Furper at back, only 2 points for me. Leeds was actually one of my teams as well, only giving me 5 points. The rest of the team did very well though. Back to Middlesbrough, captain Latte Laff, so I was buzzing when he scored that penalty. Of course, Sammy Smolix was in my midfield, and then Johansson and Ahmed. Oh goodness, this is a name and a half. Ahmed Hodzic.
Hodzic.
That's the one. Clearly, my pre-season of learning to pronounce names really didn't go to plan. Bit of opening day nerves. But yeah, not too bad. Like you, I'm still trying to work out the rules of fantasy this season. It's a little bit confusing. I haven't quite worked out how to do any transfers for next week as of currently, which is going to be difficult if I've got to leave Aspru in there, given that he won't ever get any points. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
There's only one rule, and that's that the winner gets an item of choice from the Art of Football.
It is, yeah. So if
you like that segment, how is that?
If I Can Summer Future is still at the top come the end of the season, a nice little item of your choice will be heading your way. But yeah, if you are listening and you are playing along with the EFL Fantasy and you're not in a league, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, get involved. The code will be linked down below in the description on YouTube, and you can find it in all our socials: Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok as well. We've decided to jump on the bandwagon and get involved over there as well. So don't forget to follow us across all those social medias. Stay up to date with the podcast, and also having your say with the club for next week. I think that's just about everything for this week on the podcast. Thank you all very much for listening, and we'll catch you again very soon after a little double game week with McDonald's at home. A McDonald's at home or away? I can't remember.
We're at home.
At home, perfect.
I'm
yes.
Going, so I'll let you know in the flesh how it goes.
Fantastic. And then Stoke at home kickstarts our championship season at the Vic. But we'll get back to you very soon, and we'll see you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Come on. See you later.